Okay, now let's look at how the nervous system is organized functionally. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more in depth than the structural organization, but it's not too bad. Okay, so for functional organization, that is going to be broken down into what goes into your central nervous system and what goes away from your central nervous system. What goes in is going to be sensory. What goes out is going to be motor. So we can break this down into two primary, where's my cursor here? So we can go into two primary things. We can have sensory, and this is going in, or that's input, okay? And then I'll draw motor way over here. And this is going out, okay? Out of the central nervous system. So sensory, let's do sensory first. Sensory is broken down into two other categories. There is going to be the first one, which is going to be called somatic, or somatic sensory. And these are the sensations that you are consciously aware of. Okay, so you know, if I come around and touch you, you know I'm touching you. Okay, so that's conscious awareness. And these are going to be structures such as your skin. So you know temperature, you know touch, you know vibration, you know pain. Okay, those sort of things. Other things that we're going to be looking at, eyes, ears, okay, those sort of issues. The other type of sensory that we're looking at is going to be visceral sensory. Let me move this up just a little bit. Okay, visceral sensory. And visceral, or viscera, that's all your internal stuff. That's the guts, okay? So visceral sensory are those sensations that you are unconsciously aware of, okay? And those are going to be receptors or nerve endings that are going to blood vessels, okay? Can you feel your blood vessel right now? No. Okay, so can you feel your internal organs right now? No. Can you determine how much oxygen is in your blood? You don't feel that. So those are going to be visceral sensory on this one. So this is going to be like blood vessels, internal organs, okay, something along that. And you can kind of make sense when I say the sensory is going to be input. This is how, go back to the previous video, this is how it's collecting the information. So somatic is collecting information from skin, your eyes, your ears, sends it to your central nervous system to process that information. Visceral sensory receptors are picking up stimuli from your blood vessels, from your heart, from your lungs, from your kidneys, from your digestive tract, okay? And then it sends it to your central nervous system to process that information, okay? So the other one, let me just move this around a little bit more. The other one is going to be motor. So this is going to be going from your central nervous system out to the periphery, okay? So the motor is broken down also into two different areas, okay? So we're going to have somatic motor. And what do you think somatic motor would be? Well, we know what somatic sensory is. So what is somatic motor? Think about that for a second. Where do you think those nerves are going to? Okay, they are somatic, meaning your skeletal system, your muscles. These are nerves that you have conscious control of. Okay, so somatic sensory, you have conscious awareness of touch. Somatic motor, you have conscious control of its function. I can have conscious control over my biceps. Contract. It contracts. Triceps, contract. Biceps, relax. Boom. Okay? So that would be somatic motor, and it's associated with your skeletal muscular system. So this is going to be conscious control, and skeletal muscle, or voluntary. I think I like voluntary better. Let's do voluntary control. What was I doing here? Conscious voluntary control. Oh, skeletal muscle. And that's going to be associated with skeletal muscle, muscle. Okay, that's my basic abbreviation for that. So the somatic motor is one type. The other type of motor, we could call it visceral motor if you want, but the more common term is autonomic motor. So let's use autonomic motor. So if it's automatic, okay, it does it by itself. So these are things that are not conscious to you. They are under involuntary control. So these are involuntary. I like the word voluntary and involuntary a little bit better. So involuntary control. So let me ask you a question. Think about this for a second. Where do autonomic motor nerves go to? Name some structure in your body that it goes to. You should be thinking of this. So we know what somatic motor is, skeletal muscle. Autonomic motor, where are those going? You should be thinking along the lines of your various organs. So we're looking at smooth muscle. Where is smooth muscle found? Okay, digestive organs, all these other things. Smooth muscle, you don't have voluntary control. Okay, and so we're going to be looking at cardiac muscle. So heart, that's cardiac muscle. And what other structure? Let's just throw you for a loop on this one. Glands. Okay, if you sweat, okay, those glands are secreting something, which is a motor function. Different various glands in your body have a motor function. It's to secrete something out and so forth. Okay, so that's how the nervous system is broken down functionally. You have, let me go slide this over. So we have structural, which is CNS, PNS. Okay, break those down. Functionally, you can break it down into sensory and motor. Okay, sensory is broken down into somatic sensory, visceral sensory. Functional is also broken down into motor, which is somatic motor, and autonomic. Okay, so what I want you to take away from this is understand what's being innervated, what system does it fall under. Okay, so let me pause.